So here are my 2 books that I used for my 29th year and my 5th year bullet journaling, which is crazy. The fact that I'm on now my 6th year of bullet journaling, that doesn't seem real. That seems really, really weird. But this is my 5th year and I turned 29 in Japan. So that's why, I knew I was turning 29 in Japan. So that's why I decided to go with Notebook Therapy's Sakura Journey theme, even though I didn't get to see blooms in April or the Mount Fuji when I was there. But regardless, I was like, I love the pink. I love the design despite them being the same on the front. So we're gonna start with this one. Let's get right into it. Now, it was actually kind of nice sticking with stickers this whole time because I was actually able to have my books stay flat, because when I use so much scrapbook paper, it gets a little bit thick, and I'm already coming across that problem with my book from this year. But anyway, cracking in, we stuck with everything pink and Sakura themed for this setup. Same with the next setup, but I did like slightly different things. So I had some extra Kirby supplies when I was in Japan, so I brought back Kirby, and they came out with this 30th anniversary horoscope line, so that's why there's some there. And I actually just ended up using a lot of paper from packaging of the scrapbook sticker sheets that I would buy at Loft, and papers from Loft to help design this, because like I said in my last flip through, that I just couldn't bring all the supplies that I have at home with me, obviously, right? Unless I was like knew I was permanently gonna be living there, I wasn't gonna pack up my entire life. I was gonna only pack up certain bits of my life. And I just kind of, again, more horoscope. I love this sticker. So good. I loved this sticker line so much. I love how shiny it is, and it just like goes with the iridescence of the cover. So just kept my budget sheet really simple, since I wasn't trying to like save money or anything at this point anymore. I was just like, you know what? You're gonna have fun in Japan and you're just gonna let it fly. So for October, I was getting kind of sad because I was hoping that I would find more Halloween themed things in Japan, and I just didn't. I forgot how little they celebrate Halloween. Like, they still have it a thing in Shibuya. I didn't go to it because it's considered like kind of dangerous, and it ended up being a good thing because one of my friends from school, she went to Shibuya during Halloween, and she got her wallet and phone stolen, and I think it also had her passport in it. It was bad. So I'm glad I skipped out on that. But I just did like cute Halloween doodles and Halloween stickers from Loft, even like little Disney stickers, just to keep it still like festive, but could still like have a very Tim Burton-y cutesy vibe. Just basically like a cute Disney themed Halloween. Especially since I got to go to Tokyo Disneyland for my birthday, which I did a vlog on that, and I just released it from my birthday this year, if you're interested in watching that. So I'll just link it up here if you'd like to take a look at that. But that was such a fun birthday, but also very weird because that was the first time ever that I've spent my birthday by myself. And of course, on my birthday week, I had to bring back my Jack drawings. The last one that I've never done of him, from Kei Yokoshima, I think that's his last name. I'll link it into my October setup that I did this year, because that was kind of like my big shebang of like, it's the 30th anniversary of Nightmare Before Christmas and also my 30th birthday. That's kind of like a mini tradition of myself of like, I don't care what kind of theme it is for October, gotta bring something either Tim Burton or specifically Jack Skellington focused. All right, so November, but this was actually now the last month that I was going to be in school before I officially quit. So what was my last day? Yeah, this was my last day, because you have to quit school a month before your flight so that you're not gonna get in trouble with the Japanese government. So it officially became like how it would be if I was truly living there and like working as a freelancer. So that was really cool. So I brought in Sentimental Circus, and now I realize what this was supposed to be the cover page. Obviously didn't end up doing that. I think I still have some extra stickers from Sentimental Circus. A lot of these spreads that you'll see from this book, I'm going to want to redo so that I can do an actual proper setup with it, especially now that my setups have changed so drastically from what you're seeing in this book. Because it just ended up being like too much work for how little I was pushing out, especially with like all my habit trackers and stuff. So after this year, I really learned how to streamline my stuff. But this was the month that, even though I was leaving school, it was not going to slow down for how busy it was, because I knew I needed to get episode 1 up. So I was editing my video a lot, and I also was exploring a lot, and also trying to deep clean my space in my share house room, whatever, to actually start packing as early as possible to leave and figure out how to ship all my stuff home. So that was a lot. But at least I have my bullet journal to be able to sort out my brain. December. I actually love this setup. Again, I didn't get a chance to actually do a cover page because I just was focused on just using the book for what I absolutely needed, but I got the cutest set of stickers and washi tape from Loft, and it was just such hyper cute Christmas that I love looking back at this one. I love it so much. So I'm definitely going to be recreating this theme since I have plenty of stickers left over from this set, and doing a proper setup dedicated to this. It'll be much easier than the previous Christmas spreads I've shown on this channel. Because again, like as you can see, I really didn't need the content tracker. I really didn't need the section for the vlog. So it was a lot of extra work for really not needing the space. So redoing this setup in my new way is definitely going to be a good beneficial thing to do. And as you saw before, very, very busy. And then this was I was about to leave Japan on December 15th. And of course I had to do a living in Japan review. These pages I set aside for postcards that I bought from Japan. I'll probably put one of them in here and then show it on this December setup, but I'll probably keep most of them for this year's setup. But yeah, living in Japan review. I'll read it to you guys because I think it's important. The hardest experience I've ever had. I didn't think this would be easy at all, but sweet lord, Japan challenged the shit out of me. 1 minute I'm elated from, I don't even know what I was saying there, from seeing so many different sites to on the verge of a breakdown because the simplest of tasks were extremely hard, but I'm stronger because of this challenge. I really feel like I am stronger because of this challenge. It gave me this new confidence that I didn't think I'd ever have, which is just crazy. It feels like nothing can really truly hurt me anymore. Obviously, physically things can hurt me, but emotionally, I feel like I got a great resilience for that from this whole experience. So I'm looking forward to eventually having the whole series up on my channel, and yeah, more sections just to reflect on the end of the year, finally fulfilling this big dream. And I'm really excited to edit that last episode when I eventually get to it, because I'm still on the first month of me being there before I go to January. I just want to finish this thought. I'm really looking forward to editing that last episode where I get to really show all of my thoughts from this experience and show my true feelings for it, because I feel like I'm not very good at clearly explaining my feelings through words. I really have to think about it. I'm better at explaining it through visual representation. So being able to film that whole experience was cathartic, but also I think is going to set my career finally in the right direction. So yeah, I was really looking forward to the new year of getting out of debt and just moving forward and finally being able to cross this huge thing off my list from how many years ago. So it was time for that new chapter. Little did I know that 2023 for the majority of it would be almost just as busy as it was just before I left for Japan. So, but I was prepared for that to a certain degree. So I brought back the bunnies and cherry blossoms, but used Loft stickers because they had a special sticker sheet specifically for the brand new year. So I thought it was appropriate to bring it back, especially since this whole book is cherry blossom themed. And my idea for this whole 29th year was to have every single spread be somehow related to Japan. So obviously Kirby's from Japan, cherry blossoms are Japan, all the stickers that I used for my Halloween and Christmas spreads were from Japan, and just kind of kept that thought in my head for this full year. And have some extra sheets I didn't get to use. So obviously a great example, February. I got to go to the Fushimi Inari shrine in Kyoto, and I didn't get to do that the first time I was in Japan, so I really wanted to use the postcards and stickers that I got from Japan to focus on a fox theme, since that shrine is dedicated to a fox god. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but this theme actually took longer than I thought it was going to, because I was still doing the sleep and productivity and habit trackers and the vlog and the content tracker. It was just so much extra work for how little I was able to put out because I was back at a full-time job on top of trying to do videos. So I'm pretty sure this was the last month that I decided, you know what? We're gonna drop a lot and we're gonna learn how to streamline as much as we possibly can. And I did do that with my weekly spreads here with the Dutch doors again. So I could like kind of recreate a postcard painting that I got from there. I think I still have it in the back of this. Yeah, I do. They were based off of these postcards, but it didn't have the heart to, oh my god, I can't get them out. I didn't have the heart to cut them up to put them in the book. So I photocopied a lot of them and then tried to repaint them. So this one was based off of this card. And then that the schedule page was based off of this postcard. Anyway, so didn't end up even using my reflection page. Like, that's how crazy busy it got. But, you know, I should have filled this part in, but at least I filled in this part. Oh, I did voiceovers too. Yeah, so more scripting. Yeah, this was for a road trip video that I did because I wasn't quite ready to tackle episode 2 of moving to Japan because I knew how big that was gonna get. More scripting, and then one last month in this book. So this is, like I said, this was the first month that I decided to learn how to streamline everything, and I like the idea of continuing the tradition of green themes in March. I've done pandas, then Slytherin, then pandas again, and now black cats with green plants, because I ended up finding this beautiful monstera from Greenland from the plant store that's here. And I was in the middle of redecorating my room because I was also like, you know what, I cannot have the same space that I had before Japan. It's completely time to revamp everything. So it's just after such a huge change of moving countries and you come back to that old country, it's like you're just in this, I just got in this massive mood to just completely change my life. So yeah, March was that month. And brought back the Dutch doors again. I love the Dutch doors. I've been using them so much lately. I can't believe how much faster it is for me. So I try to keep that as much as possible in the future spreads as well. More scripting, because Tokyo Mew Mew was starting to get back up in April, so I was getting really prepared for that. But anyway, so that was the first half of my 29th year, and now we're moving into the second half. So I wanted to continue the theme of just doing Japanese related themes for this, so I did keep that up. Now, this setup was actually the first one I was able to do back at home, so I think I did a much better job with this Kirby / Cherry Blossom theme setup than I did in the first half of the book, so we'll see. Much better. When I have all of my supplies, I knew my setup was gonna look infinitely better. And really filled out the reflection and refresh, because this was finally when I was about to become out of debt, and I was super excited to quit that job. And the Dutch doors for all these extra big lists. Ugh. Absolute godsend and time saver. Now, of course, we have to start with Tokyo Mew Mew. This is like my favorite setup for this whole year, I think. I was just so surprised at how much this anime was ready to change my life a second time with its reboot. Like, without these reaction videos, I would not be monetized right now. I can tell you that right now. So I knew I wanted to bring my love for Tokyo Mew Mew into my second channel here. And it didn't do quite as well view-wise, but I knew when I came back from Japan, when I started to film again, that because I went basically a 6-month hiatus without uploading anything, that it was going to absolutely kill the track I had with this. So I just have to build it back up, but I feel like my filming and my art style for bullet journaling is much more accessible to people now, because I was so focused on drawing elaborate spreads that people that want to learn how to bullet journal but don't know how to draw, it can be pretty overwhelming to look at. But anyway, with sticking with the Tokyo Mew Mew theme, and I was doing Tokyo Mew Mew content again, I was so focused on scripting plans for more Tokyo Mew Mew content once the anime wrapped up. Now that I got the Tokyo Mew Mew fandom on my page, I really wanted to go more in-depth stuff. That's the plan for... I'll finish talking about Tokyo Mew Mew so I can do this. Ooh. So that's my plan for my The Leaf Factor channel once I'm like getting things wrapped up and everything. I'm going to be doing a lot of Tokyo Mew like analysis videos. So I'm going to be doing a lot of scripting towards this. But anyway, now moving on to May. This was the last month where I felt like I was actually like doing somewhat okay, because I was still very, very busy with the full-time job, and it was starting to take a bit of a toll on my physical and mental health. Trying to also do Tokyo Mew videos on top of that, because I had to film those before work, and so I was falling behind on getting my health on track, and then this job itself was stressful. So yeah, it was a lot. I was very, very busy in May, and I really love this setup though. I'm in love with cinnamon roll, so I used a lot of the notepad paper and stickers that I got in Japan for it, and because the notepad paper was actually like much thinner than my scrapbook paper, I was still able to have this book like be quite thin. I wish I could do that with my other books, but I don't have too many notepad decoration paper that's not my scrapbook stuff, so it's just something I'm gonna have to deal with. But I love the clouds and mixing cinnamon rolls, since that was kind of like the original theme of my The Leaf Factor channel. But anyway, so now we're moving on to June. This was my last filmed month before I went back to filming in September. I actually missed a couple months, so that's why another reason why this book is so thin and so unused here, but we'll get into that when we get closer to the end. I wanted to redo Pokemon because I thought using my stickers that I collected and some from Japan here were just so much cuter than the original design I did, so I definitely prefer this new Pokemon setup. And so for the idea of this one, I wanted each spread to reflect whatever Pokemon sticker is on there. So obviously Pikachu was first, then Eevee, and then plant Pokemon, then water Pokemon, and I had this Eevee set, so ice and water are basically the same thing in my eyes, so use those. And then psychic Pokemon, these ones were specifically from Japan. And then electric Pokemon, so more Eevee stickers. These ones were from Etsy, they technically weren't from Japan, but Pokemon is Japanese, so I thought it was still fair, and it still worked. And then the psychic Pokemon again. And then I ended up not using this spread because I got so overwhelmed with work and Tokyo Mew content that I didn't even have time to finish making this, and did more scripting for Act 2. This month I really, you can see how much scripting and revives and drafts there were, but I'll link that up there if you guys missed it on my 28th year bullet journal setup. But yeah, that video, that took 3 months to edit and get right. Lots of rehearsing, lots of scripting. And because of that, I just, it just keeps going, more script. Is there any more setups? I think that's the end. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I didn't do July and August at all, like at all. It was just a blur of a month. I was so stressed out. I was so exhausted and just drained in general. Like I had to take a break after this episode 2 got up. I was so tired. But then I finally quit my job. So it's back into intense/not intense spreads. I wanted to do a Sailor Moon theme for a long time, but I knew I did not have the patience to draw something this massive, since knew I needed to do the Beetlejuice drawing and my Night Before Christmas setup. So I just stuck with doing watercolor painting and got these stickers off of Etsy and painted this myself. And I really love how it turned out. The iridescence of Sailor Moon, just so freaking cool. More watercolors, because I had all these washi tapes and all these stickers. Well, mostly washi tapes. The stickers were from Etsy, but the washi tapes were from the Sailor Moon Museum when I was in Japan. And I love how this setup turned out. When I finally got to like do artsy stuff with bullet journaling again with the 2-month hiatus, I was excited to do more artsy stuff. So I really love how the Sailor Moon spread turned out. And I had so many stickers that I went back to doing full page weekly spreads. Love it so much. But I knew after September that things were really gonna ramp up for October. As you can see, this month after quitting the job, like you can see how full everything is. I took creating content so seriously. I got so much done, and I was so proud of myself for being able to do everything, and just seeing how much I got accomplished when I didn't have a full-time job to pull me away from what I truly love doing. It was absolutely crazy, and just so proud of myself. But yeah, that is the end after some more scripting. But that's basically it, guys. That is the end of my 29th year / 5th year bullet journaling.